Alastair, it's been really good just to speak with you back from holiday and to get a feeling of what's on your spirit, what excites you about what's going on, what the Lord's doing. Just a wee quickie for folks tuning in. Alastair, pastor of Stirling Baptist, senior pastor. What excites you as you come back from holiday about what's coming up?
Well, we've got a variety of initiatives going on in the life of the church. One of the major ones is the place we're sitting in now, which is our new Family Life Centre. It used to be a gym. We've taken it over really to begin to work with families within our community, really identifying three sort of different spheres, working with couples who are struggling, working with parents in relationship to their children, and just children who have gone through trauma or suffered some form of abuse, and just putting in place a whole series of agencies as well as creating new ministries to just reach into these areas and critically make a difference in terms of family life within our community. So that's really exciting. And then in church we're in the midst of a major reorganisation. We're developing what we call regional expressions, where we felt God very clearly speak to us in terms of the words of Acts 1:8, where it talks about Jerusalem and Samaria and Judea and to the ends of the earth. And we felt as a church we wanted to ask ourselves, what does it mean and what God's calling us to be in terms of our witness in Jerusalem, which is for us is Stirling, and it takes expression in things like the Family Life Centre. But what does it mean for us to be witnesses in Judea and Samaria, and that's the regions around Stirling for which most of our congregation are drawn? And what does it mean to be a witness where you live, to your neighbours, to your community? And we divided the church up into 6 different regions of about 100 people each, and began to challenge them with that question of how do you witness effectively in your area as these people? And then to the ends of the earth, looking at what that means in terms of our global impact and how we interconnect with the wider church and the wider world. And I'm going to Uganda in a couple of weeks in relation to that, so looking forward to that.
Great. Some folk listening to this wee video will be at major crossroads in their church, and some folk will be really thinking, how on earth do we go forward? How can we move forward? How can we be church today? Can you give a thumbnail guidance? What would you say for people who are really struggling to find a way forward for their congregation?
I'd say, well, a couple of things. First thing is you've got to look after yourself, and as an individual you have to ensure that you're not exhausted, that you're right with God, that you have space, and that you have the resource within yourself to deliver what God is calling you to do. And if you don't have that, then I think you're right with what God is calling you to do, because God's never going to call you beyond your resource. And so you have to be realistic about what you can accomplish and what you can do and how quickly you can move things, recognising your own limitations. And then the second thing is build a resource base for whatever you feel God's calling you to do. And your first resource is people, and you need to find people and gather the right people around you to build teams that will accomplish what you're setting out to do. And so finding those people and asking God to either bring them into your church if they're not there already, or to lead you to them if they are there. And I believe if you do those two things, then you may not achieve perfect results, but you will see your church move and progress.
Alastair, thanks. The Lord grant you wisdom and patience, as well as continued vision. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.